Welcome to the case closed for Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I'm Wiskosk. Joining me is Double Plus and Elder Cub.
Hello.
Hello.
So, what did you guys think of it?
I thought it was kind of a kind of an enjoyable mess of a game, like pretty much every Metal Gear Solid is.
Yeah, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it too. Kind of brought me back some of the nostalgia of the PS2 era that I grew up in.
The weirdness was definitely more on a Metal Gear Solid 2 level than original Metal Gear Solid.
It kind of felt to me like they took Peace Walker and combined it with Far Cry 3, and it just kind of worked.
You know, that's the best description of the game I've heard so far. That's
Hmm.
exactly what it is. It's Peace Walker cranked up to 11. My biggest issue with the game is that there's no actual boss fights, which are always a big part of Metal Gear games.
I don't know. I thought there was one, at least.
Yeah, there was a definite one,
You
and
never get locked into an area against a boss and like have to resolve that boss encounter.
Well, that is true, but yeah, you do have a couple conflicts where you're forced to deal with the issue.
Yeah, but I mean like there's in all the Metal Gear Solid games there's always like some gimmicky encounter. Like think Psycho Mantis, having to switch the controller over to port 2 or Um, for example, the end where you have like the big sniper contest, which I guess they replicated with Quiet.
Yeah.
I kind of thought well, there was one with like the Metal Gear.
Oh,
Uh,
the Sahelanthropus fight.
yeah, but I thought there was an interaction with another character that not really considered a boss fight, but at the same time it kind of has a clever solution to it.
Are you on about the Man on Fire fight?
Yes.
I think we can talk about that without it being too much spoilers. It's pretty obvious who the Man on Fire is.
I don't know who he is yet.
I figured it out the second I saw him.
Well, once you learn of the third child's abilities and why they work, it just clicks. Like it's 100% obvious at that point who the Man on Fire is, and why certain things happen in the intro.
uh, well, as somebody who hasn't played the original games yet, I don't know who any of those characters are.
I think it might be spoilers if we even say which game the Man on Fire is from.
Definitely.
We can say he's definitely been met before. But yeah, we won't spoil it for anybody yet. So gameplay wise, like we already know the story's good, and it kind of ties into the gameplay, via getting the special items, like getting the conch shell, for example, and being allowed to develop new equipment that affects gameplay.
Yeah, I have like 100 hours in the game, so that's my opinion on the gameplay is.
Same, it just really sucks you in. There's so much to do. So many little things to discover, like squirting someone in the eye with a water pistol, or playing the poop tape when you're hiding in a toilet to discourage guards.
You can actually use the water pistol on those power things, and it'll disable them silently.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, the water pistol has like a bunch of like hidden uses, so I won't spoil one of them, but it's got a lot of great ones.
Um, I think you can use it to mess with the Skulls unit as well.
Yes, that was what I was gonna say.
The Skulls unit are so early in the game, I think we can talk about them without spoilers, because you see them like half an hour in.
Yeah, it is pretty early, like a mission or two, I think.
Yeah, it is literally the first mission after the intro that you encounter them, so we can talk about them. You do actually get to use their abilities. I won't spoil how, but it's kind of like this game's version of the old game's stealth suit. It's like that ultimate reward.
I look forward to using that.
Now that I think about it, I do know. Uh, I would consider like whenever the skulls appear to be kind of a boss. I guess.
Well, there is one encounter where you are forced to deal with the entire Skulls unit,
Yeah.
which is kind of like a boss fight.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, the one thing I noticed about it's not particular to the skulls, I guess, but every mission you go into gives you credits, and it tells you who you're going to encounter, and I just thought that was not right. It's like, oh, and skulls unit. Well, fuck.
Yeah, I found myself actually restarting a couple of missions because of that, because it was like, oh, you're encountering the Skulls unit, and I've brought an SMG.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm going back to my helicopter, and I'm bringing a rocket launcher.
Then again, I've only ever run from them.
There's a few different ways to deal with them.
Yeah.
Stun grenades are a really good solution.
Hmm.
Did you know you can extract them and get a special resource?
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not. You can pacify them as well, I guess? Or tranquilize them at least?
Yeah, pacifying or tranquilizing them's a very good source. They're like quiet in that they've got 2 health bars. One for stunning them and one for killing them.
I could
Oh,
not
interesting.
stun them. Like, anything I tried to, like, tranquilize them with didn't work.
Yeah, the tranquilizers are kind of a crap way to deal with them. Like, even though they're super effective against everybody else, just stun grenades, just spamming those and then CQCing them is definitely the best way to deal with skulls. I think we should kind of move on, though. In fact, let's just use that to segue into the CQC system. There's a lot of depth to that that's not immediately apparent.
Yeah, all I really did was charge people and slam them against things, or just wait, or just hide in like the cardboard box, wait for them to come near, and then grab them.
Did you know you can also drag people into bins if you're hiding in a dumpster?
Yes. And toilets.
And you can disarm people in the middle of punches.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
That I found particularly hard to do. Like, the timing on that is...
It's after the second punch, just hold the aim button. Yeah, just
Oh,
punch,
is it?
punch,
Okay.
aim, and then you'll hold them up. I actually had a very weird encounter where the enemy tried to counter that hold up with his knife. And I ended up taking his knife off him as well. Unfortunately, taking the knife off him was the final blow for the 5-hit knockout. So I actually ended up knocking the guy out by punching him in the wrist.
The concussive
So
force.
there's some very weird things going on with the CQC system, but overall it's got a lot of depth. I kind of feel that it's a shame that they didn't tie it into the weapons as much as they did in Snake Eater and Peace Walker.
How so did it...
For example, if you got your assault rifle out, you'd do like a rifle butt smash instead of the melee combo. Or if you had a pistol with a knife groove, you'd do combos with your knife in Peace Walker. I kind of feel that it's a shame that that's gone. You know, it's all non-lethal punches now, and the weapons have no effect on what move you do.
Yeah, because you kind of like put weapons away as soon as you're not aiming.
It makes sense
because
he's got the stealth, he's got the chest sling, you know, so he can just literally let go of his assault rifle and it's fine.
Yeah, I found CQC to be absolutely annoying in FOB missions, which kind of segues into talking about the FOB missions, which really just need a special mention because they're absolute crap.
My first encounter just kind of set the tone for the rest of my encounters with the FOB missions, in that usually you die, and the other person then just starts sprinting for the exit point.
It's always a steamroll either way, or it just evolves and both players CQCing each other over and over again, trying to Fulton each other before they wake up.
Yeah, the FOB is just naff. It sounds like a great idea on paper.
Until you get the shotgun, the double barrel shotgun, and can just pop them twice, and that's it for any invader.
The other problem is that people can steal your stuff and get to keep it even if you win.
Yeah, that
You know, like any guards that they take before you take them down, they get to keep, which sucks.
Well, I guess that makes
It makes sense,
right?
but it's like you win. You win.
Like they're gone.
You know, you've won that encounter, but you've still lost stuff.
Well, that's to make you want to invade them back. But on the in that defense, if you actually look at like which staff members they've extracted through just Fultoning them. They're only taking like people with D's and E's and like really low grade staff members. They're not taking any of your nice ones.
On that note, I mean, you can lock staff members into direct contracts,
Yeah.
so they can't be stolen. Which was a system I didn't understand at first, and I ended up losing one of the S plus soldiers that you get from having played
that
Ground
sucks.
Zeroes. I went in and steamrolled.
Yeah,
the guy
I actually
back.
lost a named NPC.
The guy who invaded me was Japanese, so I actually waited till it was about 3 AM for him, and then invaded him back, so he couldn't counter me.
Smart.
Which is another flaw in the system, is you can be invaded when you're not online.
Yeah, I've always been of the opinion that games should not penalize you for not playing. This was one of the things that really, really killed my interest in Ark, was the fact that things can happen when you're not playing, and there is absolutely nothing you can do, and your only recourse is to either A, always be playing, or B, have friends you play with who are playing it in shifts. And that's just not fun.
Well, to clear up the topic, though, for people who haven't played, you can't be invaded by a random person while you're offline, but you can be counter-invaded. Like, after you've invaded someone, for example, they can attack you back while you're not online. Your FOB won't take damage until you go online, and you won't lose items until you go online the next time. So essentially, you don't lose anything so long as you never sign in online again. But yeah, it's still kind of a crappy system where you can be punished while you're offline and there's nothing you can do about it. Other than just staying offline forever, which is what I actually found myself doing. I just didn't have any urge to play FOBs again.
You can still get invaded when playing in offline mode too, since like it forces you to build an FOB, and that FOB exists online, so it can be invaded at any time, regardless of whether you want to participate in the FOB system.
There is a very powerful endgame unlock that's tied to the level of your security team as well. Your security team has to be level 40. So there's a really powerful endgame item that you can't get unless you've played a lot of FOB stuff. It's not a necessary item, but by any measure, but it is an incredibly powerful one. So the game does kind of shaft you if you don't take part in that. I mean, technically, you could go online, assign a few people to the security team, and then sign out again. But in that time, there's probably been like 3 people who have invaded your FOB and stolen half your stuff.
I usually just assign a bunch of I get a lot of bulk A plus combat units from dispatches, so I just usually assign a couple to the security team every now and again. And that usually helps bring it up. I think I'm at like level 35 security team.
Speaking of teams, we've got combat dispatch and a bunch of other stuff that the staff tie into. And it kind of feels, at least to me, like the staff are just a core part of the game. Like it's something you're always on the lookout for, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, it's just...
Yep, I'm always keeping...
Like, you can go lethal, but do you really want to go lethal when you can give people free balloon rides to your...
to a destination of your choosing.
On Mother Base, every day is free balloon day.
Yeah,
I've usually found myself going lethal only in sandstorms just because I can't be asked waiting for them to end to extract people.
They don't even last that long.
Yeah, but, you know, in the time of that sandstorm, you can go sprinting through the enemy base completely undetected, just shooting everybody in the head. And wipe out an entire base before it ends.
That is true. I've done that a couple times.
I think the only time I really want to go lethal is when I'm doing like a pirate-style raid of an enemy supply depot.
Our time is actually running out, so let's get like everybody's favourite moment or favourite thing to do in the game before we have to call it. Let's start with Jordan.
Alright, well, I have to say my favorite part so far might be taking over bases with Quiet. Once you get her leveled up enough, she is completely silent and tranks everybody in a matter of like a minute. It's amazing. Just go into like the busiest base, and they're all dropped.
Yeah, quiet is kind of bullshit. What about you, Zach? What's your...
My favorite thing is the fact that you can Fulton tanks. So I love just sneaking up on an enemy tank unit and becoming the tank magician, making enemy tanks disappear before their very eyes.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to deal with some missions.
I think my personal favourite has to just be luring everybody out of position with an explosion outside the doors of a base, and then just go sprinting in through the front door while their backs are turned.
I accidentally triggered one of the mines during a mine clearing mission, and the enemy came running towards me. You could probably guess how that ended.
Yeah, I love turning the enemy's mines around as well. Like when they see you sneaking in, say up a cliffside path, quite often the elite units will lay mines while you're hiding from them, thinking that you'll try it again. And if you sneak up to those mines and turn them round and wait long enough, the enemy will actually come to investigate, and will get blown up by their own turned around mines.
Claymores.
So overall, I mean, we've all given this game like super high scores. I think we all gave it 4.5 or 5 out of 5.
I gave it 5
as well.
I gave it a 4 out of 5 because of the 2 big flaws that I listed in my review.
So, what do you reckon? Like, is it like a must play for everybody, even if you're not a fan of the Metal Gear games, just because of the awesome open world?
I'd say play the other games first, or otherwise you're not going to get as much enjoyment out of it as one should, because you have to have like this sort of mindset in order to really kind of take in the story and everything, because otherwise it's just going to be like a huge exposition dump and you're just not going to be able to really get a grasp on what's happening if you're not already used to kind of... I'm not sure what the word for it really is with Metal Gear.
Well, as somebody who hasn't played the other games, I have to say they explain the story pretty well. Like, just with the audio tapes and being able to listen to them at any time, it introduces you to the concept pretty well.
That's true. If you do listen to all the tapes, it does expose enough of the other games for you to not be lost, but there's definitely more enjoyment to be had in the little things.
Having completed the series.
In the little things, like when the dude gets shot in the hospital at the start and he falls through the curtain and it shows like a close-up of his face, and it's all pixelated and kind of looks like the DARPA chief dying from Metal Gear Solid.
Oh.
There's lots of little things like that you will miss out on if you haven't played the other games.
Like, at the very least, you should probably play 3 and Peace Walker before you get into Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain to kind of really understand Big Boss's story.
Yeah, because those happen chronologically before Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain.
Yeah, they directly tie into it.
Ideally, you should be playing all the games in release order, but not everyone wants to do that.
No, I definitely plan to play on in chronological.
I mean, that means you're going to be moving on to Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 next, then.
Well, technically it would be... Oh, yeah, Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. But first I should play 3 and Peace Walker.
Yeah, I mean, chronologically, it's 3, Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain, Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2.
Metal Gear Solid 1, I think.
Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 4.
And then Metal Gear Rising if you really want to play that.
You can slip in portable ops as well. Between... I think it's between Peace Walker and Ground Zeroes. But we're not entirely sure if that's still canon.
It's in like this quantum state of being both canon and not canon because its basic events are referenced, but it's not a Hideo Kojima game.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely not necessary to understand anything that goes on anywhere else in the series. But at the same time, it does add a little bit and its like the game's impact and events are, like you said, referenced in other games. Well, that's been about 20 minutes. So this has been Case Closed, where we've talked about Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. And in closing, what do you reckon? Game of the year?
Probably my game of the year.
Yeah, pretty
Same.
much. I think it's been my favorite game since maybe Fallout 3.
Wow.
Actually. Yeah.
It's definitely my favourite game since Peace Walker.
Unless Just Cause 3 blows it out of the water, it's probably going to be my game of the year.
That sounds like a verdict to me. Let's call it there.